everyone now is an actor. The project has to be fascinating. Primarily, they'll see me as a comic actor. I just want to keep acting, honestly. Just keep seeing me. Opportunities will come. I'm equidistant from both of them.
Hello, I am Srijita Sen from Filmfare, and today joining me is actor Kunaal Roy Kapur. We have most recently seen him in Bandish Bandits, and of course, we love him for giving us one of the most green flag, pooky coded character of Bollywood, Taran. Today, we are going to talk to him about all these things, of course, and more. Hi, Kunaal. Welcome to
Hi.
Filmfare. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
So I just used this word pooky coded. It's a Gen Z term. Do you know what that means?
Pooky coded.
Pooky.
Pooky.
Yeah. So your character, Taran, is described to be a green flag and a pooky coded. I'm
Well, I know
pretty
what
sure,
green,
yeah.
Green flag, I know what that means, but what pooky coded, I don't know what that.
It's something similar to green flag. You know, someone who is cute, sweet, taking care of the person. So I just checked. Kunal, Gen Z?
No idea.
Okay, no problem. So you have completed 2 decades in this industry. I think
Yes.
more than 2 decades maybe.
True.
You have
5 years, yeah.
your performance is not just limited to the big screen. You have done theatre, you have done big screen, and now OTT, of course.
Right.
After 2 decades, how do you still keep reinventing yourself?
Well, I think a lot of credit goes to the writers and directors who employ me because they see me in a different light. I think, while I like to say that I like to do comedy in a slightly different tone every time. Like Bandish Bandits, the Argya character is very different from Taran, very different from Nitin from Delhi Belly or from, Mandar from Nautanki Sala. So I think that the tone of the humor is very different. So I think the reinventing comes from just being a part of the industry and the way in which films have evolved over this whole period, because the first thing I did just Mohabbat was also I was playing a comic character only. Sanju was a sort of funny character I used to play in that series. So I started out doing that and it's just evolved quite organically, I would say, over the last 20 years.
Do people only see you as a comic actor?
I think a lot of people do, but a lot of people have seen me in other stuff as well, but primarily they'll see me as a comic actor.
So does that bother you? Do you want people to see you in a different way? Do you feel that they are just like typecasting you maybe?
No, I don't have any problem with it. Please just see me. That's all. just keep seeing me. That's the only thing that concerns me. As in, if people want to watch me, that's in itself a great compliment. I don't really need to change anyone's perception in that sense because those are my own insecurities of being typecast. But I don't have that. I just want to keep acting, honestly.
So when it comes to selecting characters, when you read a character, what are some of the things that compulsorily you have to tick mark before you say yes to that?
It starts with the script and the director. I think those are 2 very important things. The story, the script, the director. And of course, the character needs to be one that's interesting enough for me to bring something to it. Like if it's a good skeletal kind of character and I feel ki haan, iske saath kuch kar sakte hain, we can take it somewhere. That's one way to go. The other way is that the character does change something in the story. He brings about a certain change. He's either the catalyst for change, he's the reason for change, or he gets other characters to change because of him. So he can't just be comic relief, he has to be something that makes things move in the story. And then he becomes an intrinsic part of the story. So that's something that I look for.
Okay, that's great. And you just spoke about evolving mediums. Nowadays, because of OTT, and which is a good thing, of course, do you think that people have it has become very difficult to impress the audience?
To keep an audience's attention is difficult. That is difficult, and it's getting harder and harder to do that because people just like to
Social media.
Fast, like 30 seconds is also very long now. So that is the major competitor to an OTT show or a film that's on your small screen is your second device, right? It is your own phone. So, and all your social media and your own life that's happening. And everyone now is an actor in a sense, because everybody has a camera. So everyone has a camera, so everyone's an actor because everyone's in front of camera all the time. So that, that back in the day, there was a certain gloss to being an actor. Like, oh, he's an actor, he acts in front of camera ka tension hai. Okay, there's a camera here, there's a camera there. There's a tension of being it. But now we have cameras in our pocket. Everybody is an actor. Everybody is a performer. Right from when a child is born, they're performing in front of a camera. They're doing selfies, they're doing dances, they're singing songs. They are all performing in front. So that gloss of being an actor in front of a camera has so you don't see that awe for an actor as much as you used to.
Also, actors have become more accessible. Like, I know where
Yeah.
this person is going. I know when they're going to the gym. I know
Right.
what they're wearing to the airport.
Absolutely.
So, do you think that also, factors when someone like decides whether they'll go to see a film in the theater? Because if I'm seeing a particular person all the time, why would I want to go to the theater and see them again? Do you think that plays in the back of audience's mind?
No, I don't think that is that much a part of it anymore, because I think we're just too used to this thing. But I think it's an actor in a certain film, in a certain role, that draws an audience in. It's not just an actor. Just an actor might not draw a person in. It has to be an actor playing a certain role in a certain movie. So it's not just ki, acha, it's his film, I have to see it. It's his film, but in what? What is the production look like? What is the world look like? That is what's finally selling me. It's not just ki, acha, it's so-and-so actor or actress's movie and I'm definitely going to watch it. Whether it is anyone, and we've seen that in the last 10 years, that you could be the biggest star, but you could have a flop because you don't have an audience who's so dedicated to you. You have to be in a project that is exciting. And that project has to capture the imagination of an audience, not just the actor. The actor already captured the fascination. The project has to be fascinating. And that's when an audience will say, take my money. Because we've made it so difficult for audiences to go to the cinema already.
It's expensive.
Not only expensive, now you're taking up so much of my time showing me ads, 20 minutes in the beginning, 20 minutes in the middle. Then you're making me pay 500 rupees for popcorn, another 1,000. I mean, we're making it hard. We're making it very, very difficult.
So also talking of theatre, so when Yeh Jawaani re-released, the theatres were packed. And if you compare it with, not to pull down any film, of course, a lot of newly released films, they are struggling to get audiences. And when a film which released, I think, some 10, 12, 13 years back, the theatres are like houseful. So when you see that reaction from audiences, how does that make you feel?
Well, it feels great. I mean, definitely the film has found a way into people's hearts. It's a film that is loved and cherished by so many people and multiple generations. People who were born after the film release have seen it on television and have loved it and now are watching it on screen. People who watched it when they were in college, or even people who watched for the first. So it's definitely grown its audience base over the last 10 years, which is amazing for a film to do that, and to have that longevity is great. But it doesn't happen with a lot of films. You'll have a handful of films who have this kind of nostalgia value, that have this kind of such love and affection for, because there are many good films, but all will not have this draw where it becomes an event. So that's, it's a privilege to be a part of a film like that.
And then, of course, brought back your performance in the spotlight once again. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, that people already loved your character when the film released. But, back when it released, did you, the kind of love and appreciation you're getting once again, when it released, was it the same scene back then?
It was loved. I got great reactions from it. I got great roles because of it. So I think it's just lovely to see the love again being expressed by people. But it's a film that I think you have these few landmark films in your life that you are a part of, and for me, I'm lucky enough to have at least 2 or 3 of those that have actually stuck in audiences' minds. So that's a great asset to have, and I'm really privileged to be a part of some of those.
So who was the most fun co-actor to work with, Ranveer or Aditya?
Well, Aditya, honestly, I didn't work with much. We just had one scene together. So, and I have to say it was a little awkward because I've never acted with him on stage or anywhere before. So it was weird because, you have your own way on set. And it was just strange to be acting with my brother, and it lasted all of one evening. So that was. There's only one scene where I go and I hug him when I come out of the swimming pool.
Right, yeah.
That's the only scene we have together. We don't have any other scene together really. So it's yeah, but we've never acted together before or since.
Yes.
So so yeah, it was a different thing. Yeah.
So do you have these conversations with them like we have not done a film together, we should?
No. We don't. I mean, honestly, we've all kind of carved our own sort of spaces, so it's not ever. I mean, we might. I'm not saying we won't. We could, but it's never been a project in that sense. Yeah.
So, how is it growing up in a film family? Because, you know, when you have so many actors, producers, directors, filmmakers in the family, does it also become a pressure that, you know, you have to make a mark, you have to be someone unique? Does that pressure ever played in your mind?
Not really. See, we didn't grow up being a film family. We were just guys just doing what we do. And we all landed up in films, you know, like my brother landed up producing, Aditya landed up acting, I landed up acting and directing. So it's, yeah, and Vidya, of course, has her own journey. So we have now become a family, I mean, where everyone is involved in the film industry. So we've now become a film family. But while growing up, there was never any of that pressure because, you know, we were all doing our own thing. Someone's doing a corporate job, someone is doing photography, someone is doing VJing. So life goes on and suddenly we all find ourselves in the same industry. So it's interesting that it's landed up this way, but there's no pressure in that sense. So there's no, because we're very relaxed that way. There's no pressure to be or do anything. Yeah.
That's good to hear. And now, again, how do you then look back at this entire journey? 2 decades. You said that while growing up, of course, you guys had you were in a corporate job, doing other things. So, and all three of you obviously have different journeys. So for you, how did films happen finally, and how do you now look back at this entire journey of 2 decades?
Well, the first thing I did was Just Mohabbat, which was television in 98 or 99 or something. I was a kid. I was just in college and, you know, it was great to be a part of that show. Then I was a photographer for a little while because I knew that acting might not pay the bills. I don't know what breaks I'm going to get. So I was doing photography, doing my college. And I was doing theatre side by side because I love acting. And then, of course, some opportunities came my way. I got cast in a film called Panga Na Lo. I did a film called Loins of Punjab Presents, which is also a really nice little indie film, which is really lovely. You should check it out. And then, of course, Delhi Belly happened, and that kind of gave me some attention. So it was a kind of slow progression of one thing to the other, but there was no massive plan that I'm going to make a living out of acting. It was like, you know, if I could, it would be great, but I don't know because it's so unpredictable, the industry, that you can't put all your eggs in one basket and say ki actor hi banna hai, nahi to, you know, then there's nothing. So for a long time I was doing other things as well, and some of it just worked out. So, and then one thing led to the other, and here I am talking to Filmfare.
That's great. Do you still feel that, you know, you have done most of the things that you wanted to do as an actor, the aspirations you had, or do you still feel that, you know, you are an underutilized actor? How do you look at yourself as an actor?
Well, yeah, there are genres that I'd love to explore. There are spaces that, you know, whether it's more serious roles, negative roles, or grayer characters. I mean, I'd love to do all of that. But it's not something that I look at with any regret. I mean, I don't look at it with any remorse or anything like that. It's just, like, you know, I've got hopefully another 30, 40 years of life. In that time, I'll get these opportunities. I'm around. Someone will cast me in something. So those opportunities will come, I'm sure. You just got to stick around, stay in the game, keep honing your craft, and love what you do. So as long as you do that, I think, and not be bitter about anything, because honestly, you can't be because you're just so lucky to be here and doing this and just making a living out of this. So, you know, and it's all so irrelevant at the end of the day, that we're just fortunate to be able to do this. So I mean, those things take a backseat, and opportunities will come, you know, to do other things. And yeah.
If you had to give any advice to the Kunaal who started out 20 years ago, what would that advice be?
Stop eating so much, you fool. No, I tell him to be a healthier human being.
Okay.
I'd tell him to pay more attention during Hindi in school, to hone his Hindi skills a little better. Yeah, but nothing else much. I think in retrospect it's very easy to give advice, but you are only giving that advice because of the mistakes you made, and if you didn't make those mistakes, you wouldn't have that advice. Exactly. So it's because of all of that I'm giving you this. So then it becomes kind of irrelevant. But I would just say, yeah, just relax, enjoy life, and enjoy the ride. Yeah, nothing else to it.
Were you harsh on yourself as an actor, as a performer?
I'm always harsh on myself. I mean, that's why I don't read many reviews and all, because what they say negatively about me is very mild as opposed to what I say about myself.
Okay.
So whatever they say is a very like a neutered version of what I think of my own performance mostly. Because I think it's very important to be your own best critic, and unless you see that, then, and not only about you, but about just generally about work. Because otherwise there's no room for improvement.
But there are good reviews as well.
No, there are many good reviews, but I guess the good reviews, I mean, are good reviews, but even then, when you're watching yourself on screen, you will still find stuff that you feel like, you could have done this better, or you should have said that better, or that day, why didn't you polish that line a little better? Or so, the good reviews are nice to read or nice to know that they exist, but it's not. It doesn't improve you. It just gives you confidence, and it helps your ego, of course, and that's a great feeling.
Required at times.
It's 100% required. It's 100% required, and you feel good about that, knowing that people have enjoyed the performance. That I mean, that's more than. I mean, it's really fulfilling to know that, but it's also important at the same time to just critique yourself. Yeah.
So if I ask you to pick a dream team, in terms of co-star, director, scriptwriter, what would that dream team look like?
And it's tough, but I know that the people that I'd like to work with, maybe as directors, DOPs, I really like Avinash Arun. I think he's really talented cinematographer and director. Sriram Raghavan, of course. I don't know, Zoya Akhtar. I mean, there's so many people that, I mean, it's difficult to put a team together right now, but there are so many people in the industry that I haven't worked with and I love. Chaitanya Tamane. I mean, I would love to work with Chaitanya Tamane. I love court and stuff, so I'd love to work with him.
And what would that genre of that film be? It does not have to be a film, can be a series as well.
A dark comedy is pretty much my sort of jam. A dark comedy or like a social drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Now, so I think, are you like more drawn towards this genre of comedy and different variations of comedy?
I am. I mean, I love it. I think that even in the most serious thing, I'd like to goose out some comedy or the other, somewhere or the other.
Is that a defense mechanism?
It is not a defense. It's just, it's a quirk that I'd like to find things that might be funny in this situation. But very often it gets very difficult to tonally fit it into some of the stuff, because it shouldn't suddenly seem out of place or out of tone of the whole piece. So, but I love doing comedy. I think it's honestly, it's tougher than doing the other genres. It's not the easiest. I think it's also the least, it's the least respected in that sense, but it is the most loved because nobody gives comics any, like, there's no, like, why would you consider Jim Carrey a good actor generally? I mean, I love him, but I'm just saying that, I'm saying that they will be very highly paid because, like, if they're very good, like an Adam Sandler or a Jim Carrey or a Jerry Lewis or a Peter Sellers or a Robin Williams. I mean, they are some of the highest paid because people love them and people want to watch more of them. But generally, they aren't considered great actors.
Not good serious actors.
Serious actors, yeah. But what they do is honestly very, very difficult, yeah.
Before I wrap up, you just said that you are your harshest critic. So according to you, which role of yours was the best and which one was the worst?
Best, I don't know about best, but I think I don't know. Maybe Delhi Belly was this thing. I still feel in that there are some places where I wasn't very good and I messed up, and I see the scene and I still feel like. But I think casting wise and tonally, it was pretty much there. Bandish, I also like a lot because of the kind of quirky nature of the character, and in the second season it kind of fits pretty much in place. Worst, I don't want to say, but there are films that I've done. There's one film called Gollu Aur Pappu, which I wasn't very good in. There's one called, my first film that I ever did, I was really bad in, called Panga Na Lo. I was very bad in that. Azhar, I was bad. I think I had ups and downs, but there were some good scenes, but by and large, I was just like, so the many bad ones. So the good thing is that people generally remember the good ones.
Yeah. And you've received a lot of love for the good ones.
Yeah, and that makes up for all of it, yeah.
So before I finally wrap up, I'll just do a quick short rapid fire section with you where I'll ask you about films and all. You have to answer what comes to your mind. You won't get you know how rapid fires work. Okay, yeah. So which was the first film you watched in 2025?
In 2025, the first film I watched was a film my brother has produced called Deva.
One film whose dialogues you remember by heart.
By heart?
Yeah.
One film which I know a lot of dialogues is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Yeah.
A film you can rewatch multiple times.
Multiple times, I would say Pretty Woman, Notting Hill. I can rewatch Pretty Woman many times.
And the last one, who are you closer to, Siddharth or Aditya?
I'm equidistant from both of them. Literally in age and emotionally, yeah.
That was lovely talking to you, Kunaal. All the best for your upcoming projects.
Thank you so much.
I hope I get to talk to you again when those projects are revealed.
I hope so
It was great chatting with you.
Lovely
Thank
chatting
you for
with you.
joining Filmfare.